Hello and welcome back to the YouTube channel of Chiguru Farm. I am Satvik Bhatt. If you are new to the channel, please watch all our videos and subscribe to our channel. This is the second part of the interview with Raghavendra Bhatt, the founder of Chiguru Farm. Please don't forget to watch the first part of this video. Once the preliminary things like fence, water, etc. are taken care of, what are the next steps?
Next steps are more or less the same for an existing farm and an empty land. Basically, you have to start preparing the soil for organic farming. The most common practice involved is to spread the seeds of horse gram or hemp or any other leguminous plants during the pre-monsoon period and mulch them back to the land just before flowering. This will help in nitrogen fixing and reduces the concentration of chemicals in the soil over a period of time. In parallel, you will have to plan for the long-term plants. In general, having monocrop defeats the entire purpose of organic farming. It is advisable to have a mix of long-term or perennial, mid-term and short-term plants. The short-term plants or crops will normally be intercrops in between the perennial trees. Many of the short-term crops have specific season and cannot be sown or planted anytime. However, the perennial trees can be planted anytime as long as you can provide them water at least in the first year. So, they are normally planted at the onset of monsoon.
What about manure, fertilizers, pest control, diseases, nutrition management, etc.?
Most of these things are taken care of naturally by organic farming by means of intercropping, crop rotation and companion cropping. But it may not be a foolproof method and will have major deficiencies at least during the first few years into organic farming. Many of these organic inputs and insect traps are available in the market, although it is a good idea to start making them on your own at some point of time. This is when you will have to include cattle or livestock in your farm. So, you will also start making your own vermicompost or any other compost inside your farm. So, you will need the cattle or livestock both for farming purpose as well as your food requirements. It can be milk or meat.
What about the produce from the farm?
There are different type of people who want to do farming. There are quite a few people who want to have a farmhouse as their weekend homes, and they are happy to outsource the actual farm work to someone else, and they never keep track of the expenses incurred in it. So, there are few others who just feel good in the farm environment and eating farm fresh food, and therefore they are happy as long as they don't make any losses. Such people will be okay with selling some of their produce to take care of their expenses. So, there are few others who want to do a business out of their farm, or they even rely on the income that comes from the farm. So, these people will have to do a proper homework before starting the farm and also before planting anything new at later stages too. So, they should have a clear idea about where, how, and in what form they are going to sell the produce.
How can a newbie learn more about organic farming?
I would say that the best way to learn farming is to get your hands dirtied. Unfortunately, that will be a bit too long process, and most of the people cannot afford it in terms of patience and time and maybe funds also. Next best is to learn from the practitioners. Go and visit the farms, spend some days there and learn their best practices. Keep visiting different farms with different crops and maybe in different locations, and learn from them even after you become a pro. Every farmer has something or the other to teach and learn. Exchange of information and knowledge helps both. Also, get in touch with agriculture scientists and researchers and agri-tech companies who will be helpful in different ways. Other than that, there are several books and reference material available these days. There are also online forums which help in exchanging information and to consult experts. Last and least is to attend trainings and workshops at your own risk. I find most of the classroom trainings without any on-site display of proof are both boring and useless.
You talked about the farmhouse earlier. What is the importance of it?
A farmhouse ideally should be a place for the farmer to live in. That means the farmer should be living inside the farmhouse, but that may not be always practical for different reasons. A farmhouse can be as simple as a house for your worker or helpers to live in, or a place to store your tools, machines, seeds and produce, or even the harvest. Or it can also be a place for you to live temporarily or permanently. It is good to have it in the center of your farm or at a vantage point from where most of your farm is visible. Usability is a key while building a farmhouse as much as the aesthetics.
To summarize, can you please tell us what you have done at Chiguru Farm with reference to all the aspects we have talked?
Chiguru Farm is a 15 acres organic farm. We bought this farm in 2012, almost 10 years back. It was primarily a banana plantation with a few teak trees, and it had solar electric fence, borewell was in place. But we were very particular about doing organic farming. We changed it completely in last 7 years. Initially we focused on rainwater harvesting only by digging percolation pits and ponds. After that we stopped using chemicals and started making a food forest with more than 40 varieties of fruit trees and many other forest trees. At present we are following a mix and match of different types of organic farming like natural farming, 5-layer farming, agroforestry, syntropic farming, permaculture and all, depending on the need. But the basic principle of no chemicals is sacrosanct. We introduced desi cows into our farm in 2016 and started making our own farmyard manure, vermicompost, Jivamrita, etc. Cows are mainly kept for farming purpose and milk is just a bonus. We don't give any external food to the cows as they graze freely, and we grow on our own green grass and ragi hay. Most of our products are sold directly to the end customers, both as raw and finished products. We have opened the farm to guests since 2016, mainly as an educational initiative for school kids and families and new farmers, so that they can see, experience, and get involved in farming. Most of the things cooked in the farm are with the items grown in the farm, providing a farm to table experience. So, Chigu Farm is a pioneer of mango picking events in India, and we also let people participate in other seasonal fruits and vegetable picking activities throughout the year. As part of our agri-tourism project, we also have long and short stay facilities for up to 2 families in the farm. We also conduct astronomy events or stargazing events and astrophotography events, yoga camps and all inside the farm to have a better experience. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for the insights. Hope it helps our viewers as well as the new farming enthusiasts. Thank you for watching and encouraging us. Hope you found this video helpful. See you all later in our next video.